Hello world, this is video 2 in a series of 3 videos that provide an introduction to installing and using the PDF marking tool. Video 1 covers installation of the tool, video 2, this video, covers basic usage of the tool, and video 3 explores the new rubric marking functionality in the tool. Please take note that these videos only apply to version 2 and above of the marking tool, since a large number of changes were introduced during the upgrade from version 1 to version 2. The PDF marking tool was originally developed in 2009 as an open source product with funding from the University of South Africa. Since then, there have been minor upgrades to stay aligned with changes in operating systems and the Adobe Acrobat platform. In 2020, with the assistance of Adobe and Learning Curve, we were able to secure funding for some much-needed functional enhancements to the product. For the purposes of this video, we are assuming that you have completed the installation process and are now ready to begin working with the tool. We'll cover the following topics: how to check if the tool was installed, how to view or update the tool configuration, how to open a PDF document for marking, how to access the marking tools, how to add unstructured marks, how to add structured marks, how to add structured marks with comments, how to add uncounted annotations, how to generate the results page, and how to finalize a marked document. How to check if the tool was installed. Once you open Adobe Acrobat, and assuming the marking tool was successfully installed, you should see a new menu item under the Edit menu. If you don't see this menu item, it means one of two things: the tool did not install correctly, or you might have opened Adobe Acrobat Reader and not Acrobat DC. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Under the marking tool menu, you will find an item titled About. If you select this item, the system pops up a dialog that gives some basic information about the tool. The most important pieces of information are the version number and the installation folder. Also note that the GitHub URL is provided for the marking tool. This is where we manage the development of new feature requests, so if you have any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to get in touch. Also under the marking tool menu, you will find another item titled Config. If you select this item, the system pops up a dialog that allows you to adjust the configuration options for the marking tool. At the moment, the only configurable item is the name of the current marker, but in the future, additional options may be added here. When using the PDF marking tool, it is essential that you only work with one active PDF document at a time. The best way to achieve this is to follow these steps. Ensure Adobe Acrobat DC is closed. Then, in your file browser, right-click on the PDF file you want to mark. From the context menu, select Open with Adobe Acrobat DC. Important: do not select the Edit with Adobe Acrobat option. If you follow these steps, Adobe Acrobat DC will open with your document open and ready to mark. You can verify that the document is ready to mark by opening the Current Status item under the Edit PDF Marking Tool menu. This will open a dialog that provides a summary of the current status of the marking tool based on the document that has been selected for marking. Let's quickly run through the items listed in the status dialog. Marking tools active. This value tells you whether the marking tools were activated during the startup phase of Adobe Acrobat. The possible values are active and not active. You want this value to be active. Initialization errors found. This value gives an indication if any unexpected errors occurred during the startup phase of Adobe Acrobat. You want this value to be false. Tool load statuses. The next set of items lists each of the tools individually, along with a detailed status of the tool's status. The possible values are not loaded, loaded with icon, loaded without icon, and failed to load. Ideally, you want this value to be loaded with icon. Document marking status. This value gives you the current status of the active document. Initially, the value will be unknown, but during the course of marking a document, the different values will change to in progress, counted, and then finalized. Assuming the marking tools are active, no initialization errors were found, and all tools are shown in the loaded with icon state, you are ready to start marking. If not, your best solution will be to carefully repeat the steps for opening a PDF as described earlier. How to access the marking tools. The marking tools are added into Adobe Acrobat under the Add-on Tools category. To access them, simply click Tools and then Add-on Tools. This will open the tools for use. What I like to do is to add a shortcut to the add-on tools. This makes it faster to access them when opening documents in the future. To create a shortcut to the add-on tools, simply click the Add Shortcut option and place the shortcut in your preferred position. Understanding different approaches to marking. The PDF marking tool supports two different approaches to marking. The first approach is called free format marking, where you add ticks and marks at any place in the document, according to your needs. The second approach is called rubric-based marking, where you use a pre-built rubric that provides guidelines to a marker. Since rubric-based marking involves a few setup steps, we have dedicated a separate video for rubric-based marking. How to add unstructured marks. Unstructured marks refer to the tick and half-tick tools in the toolbar. They are called unstructured marks because they add a mark to the document, but they do not specify which question the mark applies to. A half-tick mark always counts exactly 0.5 marks, but a tick mark can be configured to count a specific number of marks. Once you set the value of a tick mark, it remembers it for the current marking session. In this example, I will mark question 1 using a few unstructured marks. How to add structured marks. Structured marks are added using the Add a Mark tool. They are called structured because they allow the marker to associate a mark with a specific criterion being marked. For example, here I am adding a mark that applies to question 2. Notice that after I click on the point to mark, the system pops up a dialog that allows me to specify the marks as well as the criterion to which they apply. It should be noted, however, that you could leave the criterion field empty. To demonstrate, I will add a mark to question 3 without specifying the criterion. How to add structured marks with comments. Sometimes you want to add a unique comment alongside a mark. If this is required, simply use the Comment Mark tool. For example, here I will be adding a mark with a comment to question 4. The system also pops up a dialog, but now the dialog includes an extra field in which I can type a comment. Once the mark is applied, you can hover over the annotation to see the comment. How to add uncounted annotations. The system also includes two annotations that do not carry a mark value. They are the checked stamp and the cross tool. The checked stamp is intended to show that a marker has taken note of something in the answer without assigning a specific value to it. The cross tool is intended to show that an answer is incorrect. The cross tool also doesn't add any mark value to the document. As an example, I will use the cross tool to show that the answer for question 5 is incorrect. How to generate the results page. After all questions in a document have been marked, the next step is to count up all the marks. This is as simple as clicking the Count Marks button. When this button is clicked, the system pops up a dialog asking the user to specify the total value of the assignment or exam. For example, I'll specify that the total value is 100 marks. Once the total has been specified, the system automatically adds a new page to the document. The new page contains the marking results summary, breaking down the marks according to the criteria they were applied to. In our example, we used 2 structured marks, and all the other marks were unstructured. The system counts all the marks up and calculates the percentage. Although not a typical use case, it is also possible to add additional marks at this stage and recalculate the results. I'll demonstrate this by adding an additional tick to question 1. How to finalize a marked document. If the marker is satisfied with the calculated marks, the final step is to finalize the document. Notice in the bottom left corner of the results page, there is now a button titled Finalize. When this button is clicked, the document will be moved into a final state, after which marks can no longer be added or changed. Let me demonstrate this by finalizing the document. Notice that the system provides a warning. If I acknowledge this warning, the system now creates a new document which contains the score in the file name. Also notice that I can now no longer apply marks to the document. Additionally, notice that a further page was added to the document listing all of the comments. In our example, only one comment was added. If I now close the document and open it again, you will notice two things. One, the add-on toolbar is no longer available, and the status dialog highlights that the marking status is finalized. That brings us to the end of the basic marking functionality. As mentioned earlier, the PDF marking tool also supports a rubric-based marking approach. Rubric-based marking will be explained in the third video of the series. See you there.